Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Our next guest took her love of cake decorating and used it to solve some heavy emotional issues. Please welcome Rachel Smith with Cakes by Rach to our table. Welcome.
Hi. Hello, guys.
We know her. She's our ward member, former young woman, friend of my girls.
Good friend.
So,
good
yeah,
friends.
really good
Well,
friend.
and she makes a darn good cake.
Well, and that too. That's a specialty
We've
moment.
all
Yes.
hired you.
Yeah.
I didn't even know she ordered one because she's snuck into my garage.
Yeah, that was.
And I love a pretty
Yeah.
cake, but Rach, they taste amazing. I think that's my favorite part about it. Is sometimes they're so pretty, a cake that you could get, but the inside is like, no.
It has to be perfect.
It has to be good.
Everyone calls my family food snobs. I grew up in a food snob family. We expect perfection. And so I may have made 20 different recipes of white cake because nothing was satisfying myself. And then I found the one I use and I love it. It's actually from Nicole Hansen in our area as well.
No way.
Yes.
So just a neighbor, you took that recipe and started adding
Tweaking
to it.
Yep. And
So is that where it all started? You just grew up loving baking?
No, I hate baking. That's the funniest part. I hate baking. I hate baking.
I'm like, okay, tell us more.
Okay, so tell us your
funniest
story about how this came to be.
Of course. I had my daughter, Evelyn, who is now 3, and she's almost 4, which is crazy. But I developed some pretty bad postpartum depression and anxiety, but I didn't know I had it. I could get out of bed in the morning. I wasn't suicidal. I didn't want to harm her. So all those symptoms that people say watch out for, it wasn't me. I had mostly anxiety. So no clue that I had it, but I was in a really difficult place, a really dark place. I just was not myself. And so my daughter turned 1 and I wanted to make her birthday cake. I had never done something artistic with my hands before. Everyone's like, what's your talent? I'm like, talking. That's it. It only involves people.
Hey, that's our talent.
That's it.
We love it. Good. You can sit in.
Talking is my favorite thing, but it was so nerve-wracking for me to create something with my hands for the first time. But my husband was like, just do it, just try it. We got a $20 kit off of Amazon, Cake by Courtney. I just followed her, watched a couple of videos, did it, fell in love with it. I loved doing it. I did her cake, and then I did an adult cake, and everyone was like, it was so good, it's so yummy. My family, the food snobs, liked it, so I knew I passed.
That's where you got
Or they may have been nice, but anyways, I just started doing it for fun, and I remember one night, my husband, we were just kind of talking about it, and he's like, what would be your dream? I don't dream, but he was like, what would be your biggest dream for this? And I said, if one person could buy a cake from me, that would be great. And
you didn't dream very big.
No, that's where I was at though. And I just started making them, and now we're doing 7 to 8 cakes a week, and we're doing bridal fairs, we're doing cake classes, we're doing huge wedding cakes, huge wedding orders. It has been the craziest thing, but what I'm so grateful for is how it pulled me out of this hard, difficult place. I realized when I had my second daughter, Chloe, that I actually did have postpartum depression and anxiety. I got on some medication, so that made the world
So they
of
never
difference.
really did diagnose that first time.
No,
You just
they had
rolled
no
with
idea.
It.
I had a nurse who I was talking to, and she was like, "Did you ever get diagnosed?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "Honey, you have it bad." And I was like, "Oh." And it's supposed to get worse every child you have if you don't get it medicated or fixed. And so it's never really fixed. But so with Chloe, it was even worse than with Evelyn. And I was so grateful that I had cakes, but I also had the medication I needed to be able to help me become myself again.
So were you a little nervous, knowing that, okay, now I'm having a second?
I was terrified.
And
I didn't
I'm
want to
now
have
running a
second.
business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
I thought I was going to quit. I thought, cakes are done, I'm moving forward.
I remember talking to you then, because I don't remember the conversation, but you're like, oh, I'm having a baby, so I think I'm just really going to slow down. I don't know how much more I'm going to do.
I thought I was going to be done, and it was crazy. I really was moving forward with being done because I felt fulfilled. I felt better. And then I had Chloe, and I was worse. And then I started getting asked to be these bridal fairs, these bridal venues preferred vendors. So Walker Farm reached out to me and said, "Can you be our preferred vendor for wedding cakes? Can you come to our bridal fair? Can you do this?" And I just could not deny that I was supposed to continue doing this cake thing. And it's been so nice everyone's like, how do you do it? How do you do it with 2 kids? And I don't know how I do it. All I know is my daughter loves TV, so anytime I let her watch it, she's like, this is the best day of my life, Mom.
And then Mom on TV.
And then
yes,
Chloe sleeps, and we just bust out cake. My husband is a huge part of it. He bakes. Just alongside me, he bakes most of it. My mother-in-law bakes so much for me. And then it's just a team effort. When I go to bridal fairs, he's alongside me. Everyone sometimes thinks it's Cakes by Zach because Josh is standing in the back. And they're like, are you Zach? And Josh is like, no, like, that's Rach. This is Rach. This is me and my wife. But it could say that.
So Rachel, I want to ask you, is your favorite part baking? Is it decorating, or is it going to the events and mingling with the people?
So like I told you, I hate baking. I hate it, and I hate buttercream.
I love that so
to
much.
help with that part of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so my husband helps, and my mother-in-law loves baking. So she does most of that.
That's so
and
funny.
then my husband tastes all the buttercream because I just am like so disgusted by
I would
it.
just be like this.
I know, and it helps that I don't like it.
Because I would eat so
This
much.
is me. I'm like, I hate baking. I hate buttercream.
Yep.
So you must love like the
So
creation.
I love the decorating.
Yeah.
That is
Right.
what's fulfilling for me. It's something about taking something in my brain and using my hands to do it fulfills me in such a different way because it's an instant gratification. Like being a mom, you don't really get that very often, but to create something with your own hands, share it with people, and people fall in love with what you've made is just this fulfilling feeling I needed as a young mom. And then I love the people. Like I've been able to
social
get to
aspect.
know so many people and talk and experience what they're going through, especially during COVID. So many moms reached out to me and said, I can't do anything. Can I just get a cake for my kid?
It's true.
And I was like,
do a
yeah,
lot of
totally. And so it just became, I have a lot of friends through this business.
Totally, and I would relate. I think during COVID, especially like when you're raising kids and you're isolated, so to speak, and you crave speaking to adults. You're like, would you like a cake?
Please.
Yes. Let's talk about it. Yes.
So
I want to hear about, I think you posted about having an event teaching people
Yes.
how to
Yes.
decorate.
yes.
So you pre-baked the cakes.
My mother-in-law pre-baked. I will
you have
always
a
give her
good
credit.
mother-in-law.
I do.
So
I
did you
do.
do a class?
Yes, so what we
so
did,
tell us.
my husband and I are building a home right now, and because of interest rates, we thought we were gonna have to sell it, which was heartbreaking for us. And so I needed some quick cash, really, to like help us hit the goal of our down payment that we wanted. And so I literally came home and I was like, Josh, I'm gonna do a cake class. And he's like, okay. And then 5 minutes later, I just posted. I had no plans. I had no idea what I was doing. I've never done it before.
I truly love this.
Overthink and then it's like, no, I can't.
Literally,
You can't
Yes.
overthink. You just
No.
need to dive into
So I
the passion.
downloaded Canva on my phone, created
Oh,
a
my word.
stupid little flyer that looked so bad. My first one was so bad, but I just posted it and I was like, hey everyone, we're doing a cake class, $50. You leave with a 6-inch cake. My goal was 10 people. I was like,
Okay.
I just want 10 people. $50 was pretty cheap, so I was like, okay, we could do this. And then I got 10 people, and then the next hour I had 20, and then the next 4 hours I had 30.
You're like,
and when I was like, I can't fit this in my free clubhouse anymore. And so I was worried and I was anxious, and then it was crazy. Walker Farms reached out to me after I called them, and they're like, oh, we were just gonna call you. We saw you doing your cake class. Do you wanna do it here?
For free?
And no, so we did a switcheroo. So I did their event cupcakes and cake, and then they let me do it in their venue
Facility,
for free.
but then you show up in this great space.
Yes,
love that.
yes,
Yes,
and
yeah.
I ended up having 40 people sign up.
Oh,
so
my
there's
heavens.
this photo on my Instagram where it's me in the middle and just 40 grandmas, moms, like boys, like men came, kids came, like girls for girls' nights. Every walk of life came.
Okay, are you
Love
doing
it.
this again? Because I want to come.
Yes.
Yes,
I
and I
know.
want to get to that. So,
Yes.
anyways, everyone shows up. I'm teaching this class of 40 people. Everyone leaves with their own 6-inch cake.
Okay.
So great. And I fell in love with it. And now all of a sudden I have 40 kits of cake, like spin tables and scrapers and whatnot.
Because you had to get all the supplies.
Yes, and it's so much money. But I decided what I want to do with that is kind of do a rent Cakes by Rach. So instead of having, kind of think like you rent a clown, right, to come into a birthday
Yes.
party, you can rent Cakes by Rach. I'll come into your
Okay.
home. I'll bring the cake. I'll bring the frosting. I'll bring all the tools. You
Okay.
provide the venue and the freezer, and I will teach whoever you want there how to make their own 6-inch cake. So that's the next goal after I move. I gotta move
It's
first.
like pampered chef parties, but cake
Chef-
decorating parties.
Will you just teach how to decorate, or we'll watch you and then decorate our own cake and take it home?
Yes.
And you'll.
So just
And then
the
they'll
same
make
as the
fun of me,
classes,
and
but
it will
at
be
home.
awesome.
Just
because
there you
we'll do it together. Yeah.
Yep.
they make
So are
fun
you
of me when I
giving
do that.
people the choice of like, do you want chocolate, vanilla, butter?
Typically, we just pick one. We'll
Okay.
just pick a cake. I'll probably work with the host, whoever that is,
Okay.
and say, okay, which cake do you want to make? If I did multiple, it would just be so much work.
Yeah, right.
And are you going to do like? Oh, what was my question? I was going to ask like a minimum.
So yeah, well, no, I haven't thought that through.
Okay.
Again, this is another like, I'm coming up with this idea.
Yes,
I'm gonna do it. But it will be a $75 minimum per head, and then it will just be however many people you want. Just let me know it has to be by this date.
Okay.
So
like a
small
fun girls'
party,
night out at
big,
your home for a birthday
Exactly.
party.
a birthday
Yeah.
party, any kind of event. I have a couple corporate events coming up where they want me to do it for their employees. So
That's a great idea.
really neat.
I'm so happy
Okay.
for you.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
The best way to get a hold of you to schedule any of these things.
So, again, I'm like fly the seat of my pants. I don't have a website because
That's fine.
Instagram has worked
Okay,
for me.
okay,
So,
okay.
at Cakes by Rach 686 is
Okay.
my Instagram. You just follow me. On there's a link. And you just click the link, fill out the form, and then I call you. And we plan the
Okay.
cake of your dreams. Or you can call me as well. That's always available. But that is
Well,
the best
and
way.
they're
my son's
delish.
wedding cake was delicious.
Yeah, they're so good.
It's
Yes.
still one of
So
my
glad.
favorites.
I'm
And
so
we
glad.
love you, and I love your story and the purpose that it gave you, and then what it came
What it-
about to
yes.
be. Like, how amazing!
It really
There's
comes
just-
down to
there's
conquering
always a
that fear.
plan. Yep.
Yeah, if you can get rid of that fear, which fear run my life.
Yeah.
And I finally, thanks to my husband, was able to kind of overcome that a little bit
Oh, and that
day by
great-
day.
That support to us so
Yes,
important.
It's
So
just
that's
been so
awesome.
nice. And support from you guys and Spanish Fork. Like, it was
Yeah,
a really
we
kickoff
adore
because
you.
of Spanish Fork. So I could not thank the city enough.
Best of luck.
Yeah, we love you,
guys.
Rach.
Thank you.
Well, coming up next, our new hospital is turning 1.